At my wedding, my father, a wealthy CEO, barked, "Remove those ridiculous medals, you're embarrassing me." When I refused, he slapped me in front of 280 guests. Then my fiancé, a decorated Navy SEAL, seized his wrist and spoke 8 words. The entire room rose to their feet as my dad's face turned pale. Can you even imagine standing there at the altar on your wedding day, ready to marry the love of your life, only for your own father to slap you? So hard the sound cracks across the room like a pistol shot? Yeah, that happened. And what happened next? Well, that's when things really got interesting. One moment, I was bathed in the soft glow of the chapel, 280 guests frozen mid-sip of champagne, forks suspended over plates of prime rib. The next, the stinging fire bloomed across my cheek, a physical manifestation of decades of his contempt. My head snapped to the side, but I didn't flinch. Not really. My medals, the rows of ribbons clinking faintly against each other, they were my armor. A quiet reminder of why I stood tall. This wasn't just a slap. It was my father, the chairman of Holstead Enterprises, a man who'd built a tech empire from the ground up, striking his own daughter at her wedding, in front of everyone. Not in private anger, but in public humiliation. The hall still smelled of polished wood, roses, and expensive whiskey. But all I felt was the burn on my face and the weight of 280 pairs of eyes. He'd already sneered his command once, voice dripping with disdain. "Take off those silly medals." He said it like my service ribbons were cheap costume jewelry, an embarrassment to his image. I'd refused with a quiet shake of my head, my chin held high, a posture drilled into my bones from years of standing inspection. And that's when his hand lashed out. But before I could even process the shock, another hand intercepted him. Strong. Steady. Gloved in white. My fiancé, James, a 4-star Navy SEAL, had stepped between us. He gripped my father's wrist with iron control, calm but unyielding, and leaned close enough for only a few in the front rows to hear. 8 words. Just 8. They left his mouth low, deliberate, a chilling promise. Whatever power Dad thought he held, it evaporated in that instant. The whole room rose to their feet. It wasn't chaos. It was collective judgment. A wave of movement. A silent verdict. The CEO who built his empire on commanding attention suddenly looked utterly small. His face strained of color, eyes darting like a cornered man. My cheeks still burned, but my pride didn't waver. I stood straighter. Because in that moment, I wasn't just a daughter. I was a decorated officer. A woman who had carried her weight in deserts and on decks halfway around the world. You're probably wondering, how did we get here? Why would a father slap his daughter on her wedding day? Why would a uniform, the one truth I had ever owned, ignite such fury? To understand that moment in the chapel, you have to know where I came from. I grew up in a house where power was currency and love was rationed out like quarterly dividends. Dad was the kind of man who measured worth by profit margins and filled dinner conversations with who he could impress at the country club. He wore custom suits like armor, smoked cigars that. Full story on the channel. Link below. Click now and watch what happened next.